guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Courtney and this is Creative on the Cheap. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today is the very first DIY of 2019. I'm super excited. It is a very cost-effective, farmhousey feel type project where you can buy everything from Dollar Tree. You may notice that I am filming in some random room, and I'm gonna update you why I'm in this room on my craft room renovation in the chit chat, as well as talk about a birthday sign and give a Facebook Live update. So if you wanna get straight to the supplies and the tutorial, here is your timestamp. Also, just a heads up, the supplies are done a little bit differently in this video. Normally, you guys know that I just put everything on the table and just talk you through everything, but my voice was still kind of scratchy when I started this project, and when I listened to it back, I'm like, nobody wants to hear me with the frog in my throat. So I did the supplies a little differently. If you like it this way, let me know down below and I can kind of change it up every now and then and do that. But I just wanted to give you a heads up. The supplies are done a little differently than I normally do. But all right, so for those of you still sticking around for the chit chat, this is what's up. So this room right here is downstairs in my house. It's actually directly below my craft room, and it's our office. Well, I say it's our office, but honestly, it is just a hot mess of randomness. Like there's built-ins here, there's some built-ins there. It doesn't have a closet or anything, but it does have French doors on it over here, because you're probably like, what the heck are you talking about? If you're on my Facebook group, you've seen all the pictures of this room because I did throw them up there and tell you guys what I'm doing. So after much measuring and planning and getting quotes and all that good stuff, I decided I am just going to swap, and my office is going to become my craft room, and the upstairs is going to become a gaming haven type thing for my husband and my kids. So he's already told me, he's like, we want you to make some DIY stuff for Fortnite and Overwatch and what have you. So I will be doing some projects for them upstairs for their gaming haven. But this is going to become my craft room. So the first thing I know for sure is there are no light fixtures in the ceiling of this room. So recessed lights and a ceiling fan is my first step in this room. And then it's going to be painting the built-ins, also getting some barn door sliders to kind of cover up some of those shelves. And then new flooring. I've always wanted to do a board and batten wall, so I may do that in here. I don't know, but I just wanted to let you know that final decision, I'm not making any more changes, but this new space will be my craft room. So there you go. Again, if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, mostly Facebook lately, they kind of get insider tips, or not tips, but insider sneak peeks and kind of know what's going on before I even put a video up. So that's where to follow me if you really want all the behind the scenes, but I will update periodically through my channel. Okay, the Facebook Live. So my plan is, as of now, on Saturday, which is the 12th, to go Facebook Live. I'm thinking 9 p.m. Central Time. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I just have to wait for one of my teenagers to tell me whether or not I have to pick her up from somewhere. But I will put the details on Facebook. So if you want to come over, and I'm going to kind of just open it up to a Q&A if you have questions about any craft supplies, or if there's a project you want to do and you want my opinion or tips. And then I am going to be making a little craft. I'm going to be making some shabby chic hearts from the Dollar Tree candy canes. And again, I'll put all the details on Facebook. But that is my plan of now. If something changes, it will be updated on Facebook. So I'm going to start there. A lot of people have asked for a YouTube Live or Instagram Live, and I'm working towards that. But I'm going to start with Facebook. It's my smallest little group and the smallest amount of people. So I'm like, I figured if I start small, that might be the best place. And then lastly, at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how I made this. I did film it, and all I can say is it's not going to go live. I don't know. I just can't get it to work. But I just wanted to show you guys that I did make this, and it is a very simple and easy project to do. And I will share with you how I made it at the end of the video. So, and I think that's it. I think that's all I wanted to update you guys on. I'm super excited to plow through these DIYs I've been planning, and I'm excited for my craft room renovation. So, all right guys, without further ado, let's get into the supplies and the tutorial for this super cute little Valentine sign. Okay, let's get into the supplies. So you will need a picture frame. This is an 8x10 frame. A piece of foam board. This is just a remnant that I have. The die cut letters from Dollar Tree or some type of stencil. Some yarn or twine that you can also purchase from Dollar Tree. Burlap in whatever color that you want. And then some random supplies, a glue gun, X-Acto knife, ruler, and a pencil. So the first step in this project is just to take your frame apart. I'm going to remove the backing and the glass. I will put the glass aside and save it for a possible future project that I might want to do, but you don't need to save the paper, just save the backing. Once you've taken your frame apart, the next step is going to be to pick out what kind of burlap you want to attach to your backing. Now this burlap I got from burlapfabric.com. It is a website that reached out to me and they wanted to send me some of their samples, and so I'm going to try it out. So here I'm just trying to decide if I want to do the red and the white or if I want to use the tan burlap with the pink, and that's what I decided. So basically I'm just going to put my backing on top of the burlap and just cut around it to size. I'm not going to do any extra or anything like that because the frame, once you put it in the frame, it will overlap a little bit, so there's no need to have extra that you wrap around the backing. And then once it's cut, I will go ahead and apply it. Now that the burlap is all cut out, I'm simply just going to attach it to the backing by doing a thin strip of hot glue all along the edges. You don't need to put any in the middle, and you don't need to be excessive with the glue here. If you don't want to use hot glue, you could use regular glue. It'll just take it a little bit longer to dry, or you could even use the spray adhesive from Dollar Tree if you wanted to use that as an option. Moving on to our next step, I'm now going to trace my letters onto the foam board. And one of my little hacks here is anytime I'm tracing letters, if there is a straight line to the letter, as you can see on the L, I'm using the side of the foam board to basically not have to cut as much, if that makes sense. So like that side of the E is already nice and straight and I won't have to try to cut it, because honestly, cutting foam board is probably not one of my top 5 favorite things to do. So I'm simply just going to trace these with a pencil, and then I'm going to go back in and cut it with an X-Acto knife. Now that all my letters are traced on there, I basically, when I cut foam board, this is just the process I go through. So basically I go through first and kind of just score it, not cutting all the way through. And then once I've scored it, then I can go back and I will pick up the foam board and kind of basically saw it through the foam board. And for me, that's just how I prefer to do it. Now I have seen on YouTube there are a lot of hacks of how you can use like a wood burning tool and like burn the foam board, but and I was gonna try that, and honestly I had my wood burner out, but when I put it on the foam board and it instantly turned black, I was like, I'm out. So I need to do some more research on that, but for now this method works for me. It gives me a little more control that way, and I can kind of get more of a precise cut. letters all nice and cut out. Now I'm going to grab my yarn. I purchased this at Michael's. It's by Scrubby Cotton, it says, and it was on a buy two get one free deal. So I'm just going to simply put a little bit of hot glue on the bottom of the L here. I don't know why I always start towards the bottom of the letter, but that's just kind of when I'm wrapping stuff, I just tend to do that. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue there, and then I am going to just start wrapping around and around, no rhyme or reason, making sure to crisscross and do long strands as well as short ones. And you basically just keep wrapping and wrapping until you get it how you want it to look. And once you get it how you want it to look, then just snip the yarn, and then you're just going to secure it in the back again with a little bit of hot glue. And for any letter that has an inner part like an O, a D, a B, etc., P, all I do is I just pulled a little section of the yarn, cut it, and I just worked in little sections. So I ended up doing this about 3 times, and then that covered up my O. My letters are all done now, and so now I'm just taking my small scissors and I'm just kind of going in and trimming the little straggly pieces of yarn, and especially on this E, just making sure that the gap is kind of noticeable so you can tell that it's an E. But I'm just trimming the extra yarn, and then I will be ready to apply these letters to my frame. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and put my backing back into my frame and secure it in on the back. And then I'm going to flip it over and decide which way I want my letters to go. And I'm going to go ahead and do it this way. And now once I've figured out how I want it to go, I'm simply just going to put some hot glue on the back of each letter and attach it. Now, after looking at the frame, I decided, now while I do like how it looks here, that I wanted to go ahead and paint the frame. So I grabbed some of my chalked linen white Annie Sloan paint and a foam brush, and then all I'm going to do is, it only took 1 coat brushed onto this, so I'm just going to brush on 1 coat and then see if this is the look that I'm going for. Now that the frame is dry, I'm going to go ahead and put the backing back on. And where I decided to hang this, I actually needed to take off the little stand on the back. And one of my hacks for this is I take it off, but then I washi tape it to the back of the frame in case I ever want to make that frame something that can sit on a tabletop again. So I don't throw those away, I just tape it to the back. And then after looking at it, I needed to change it one more time. So I basically painted it with 1 coat of cream colored paint. And then I added the little lace bow to the O, which was some lace also that I got from the burlapfabric.com. And then this was perfect, and where it ended up was right here in my entryway on the shelf, because that shelf was kind of cream colored. So that's why I went ahead and did 1 more coat, and I absolutely love it. I think it looks great. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Please stay tuned to find out how to make that family birthday sign. And until next time, have a great day. All right, let me talk you through this sign. Okay, so the first thing, the piece of wood. I just purchased this at Hobby Lobby, and they're woods, like they have a wood aisle that has like all the wooden letters in different shapes, and then like there's another aisle over that has like the pallets and already the made kind of signs. So I bought this, I can't remember how much it cost. I want to say it was like $4.99 and I used a 40% off, but I liked it because it already had the hanger attached to it. And it's a real soft wood, so it's really easy to work with. My mom just wanted to leave it natural, so that's what I did. And then all I did is I used those little blue letters from Dollar Tree, just like I did for this love sign, and I traced on here with a pencil, and then I just went back in with the paintbrush and just painted it in with just regular acrylic paint. And then for the birthday, I did make a stencil on my Cricut, but then again, you can just use stencils. It'd be the same process, just paint it over. And then for the months, I used a paint marker. I did test out Sharpies and a couple of the paint markers I had. They did have a little bit of bleeding because sometimes when you write on the wood, it'll kind of, not bleed necessarily, but it kind of spreads a little bit. This one is just the Color Art brand paint marker from Michaels. And it's kind of like a little metallic, and I just hand wrote it because I was like, I really don't want to do a stencil for those. So I just hand wrote that in with that marker. And then to attach the little O-rings right here, like I said, this wood is super soft. So all I did was take one of the really tiny little like picture nails. I think that's what they're called. They're really small ones. And I just kind of poked a little hole, hammered it in just a little bit to get a hole started. And then I just screwed these in by hand, like literally no effort whatsoever. So that's all I did for that. And then these little wooden tiles and the little silver rings came in a 100 pack. From Amazon. I'll try to link it down below. Actually, let me take that back. These came in a 100 pack without the metal rings. I had actually ordered 2 because I had ordered some circles and hearts, but they were kind of small. So it was actually a combination of 2 packs that I used. I used the metal rings from 1 pack and then these, but I really like the size of these circles. Again, I'll try to link it down below if I can find it. What am I saying? I should be able to find it. It should be in my past orders. And then all I did was do 1 coat of paint, acrylic paint, on these wooden circles. And then again, and it dries really fast, like super fast. And then I just hand wrote the dates and the names on there. My mom wants the years written on the back, so I'll go back in and put the years on the back so that that way each year she knows how old people are turning, not just when their birthdays are. And I think that's it. Like, literally, this project was so easy to do. You'll notice the different colors. These are the colors she wanted, and it's by generation. So I've got like my grandparents, and then the 5 daughters and their husbands, and then the green is the grandkids, and then the gray is the great-grandkids. And that generation is still growing, so I just made extras. So if you are going to give this for a gift, just keep that in mind. You might want to provide extra of whatever generation may still grow, or even, you know, some of the colors, you know, with divorces or whatever, you never know. So giving a little bit of each would be good also if you decide to give this as a gift. And that's it. Like, I didn't seal it because she's going to be hanging it inside. You could go back with a poly if you wanted to protect this to make sure it doesn't get scratched, but she's just going to hang it on the wall. It's not going to get heavy usage or anything. And then you could add celebrations. You could add hearts in for like anniversaries if you want. They do have the heart tiles. So there you go, guys. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, see you later.